Hi, this is Delia from Nexenta, and today we have Nordisk, who apparently stole the show, almost. We have a great exhibit and a great demo. Steve, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you're exhibiting today, the press release, the test results that you've seen, and so far how the show is going for you.
First of all, we've been a Nexenta partner for over a year now, but we were actually working with what we felt was going to be the right configuration for us to deliver to our customers. Nordisk has been in business since 1983, and a large percentage of our customers are very high-end enterprise clients. So I was working with Supermicro, realizing that that was the partner that I wanted to actually deploy the Nexenta solution on. After looking at a lot of different options, we felt like Supermicro really was the best fit. But I wasn't really comfortable with how I was going to deliver the level of availability that my customers really needed. You know, we're an IBM Premier business partner. We resell, NetApp, which is the IBM M series. We're also an EqualLogic partner. So I'm pretty familiar with those types of solutions, and I realized that my Nexenta solution had to be at least as available as those and offer the same features but at the same level of availability at a much lower price point. So what happened was the perfect storm, so to speak, came along when Supermicro announced the SPV.
Let's walk over to the demo itself right now so we can take a look at it.
So over here, this is a framed version, if you will, of the press release. And the way this came together was it was really a joint venture between Supermicro, Nexenta, and Nordisk. And what we did is Nordisk helped bridge the gap between Supermicro and Nexenta as far as who was going to buy the box and then who ultimately was going to be help get it certified. Nexenta really wanted to get the unit certified. Supermicro was looking for a good storage partner, and Nordisk really kind of jumped in the middle of that and said, what we'll do is we'll buy the box, we'll ship it to Nexenta, and we'll get it certified, and then as a result of that certification process, we'd work together on a joint press release. The great news is, as a result of that press release, I've been really inundated with leads that have come in over the last month and a half. I've gotten at least 30 to 35 legitimate, qualified, first-tier leads. And of those 30 to 35 leads, I'm still actively working well over 15 of them. We've already closed our first deal.
And some of them are actually at the summit today, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and there's three or four other prospects that I'm actively engaged with that are actually here at the summit, which is really a wonderful thing to be able to showcase, to be able to say, okay, this is what we've been talking about, and here it is, and for them to actually be able to look at it. This platform gives us not only a very low-cost entry-level solution, but it provides massive scale. The unit that we have here today, we've configured with 4 CPUs. They're the Westmere processor, 5620 procs, very powerful CPU. That's the beautiful thing about the open standards that Nexenta supports, is it really is our ability to deliver the latest and greatest technology, and Supermicro is fantastic at delivering that technology even faster than IBM or HP or Dell. And again, being an IBM partner, I know this for certain because my president of my company was like, well, can't we put this on IBM? And the simple answer was no, we can't, because the technology wasn't available from any of our other partners. Supermicro really was the right partner to deliver that on. So anyway, this unit is a 4 CPU system that has 48 gig of memory, 24 gig in each side. It's a full HA cluster in a box. Right now we're also running it in an active-active configuration. It can be set up either as active-active or an active-passive configuration. So we can actually fail it over, and what happens is the ZFS automatically exports the volume from the failed node over to the currently active node on the other side seamlessly without any interruption to the end user. Essentially, it's completely transparent.
That's great, that's great. And since then, so tell me a little bit about some of the collateral you have. You have the data sheet right here that talks about the Nexenta features and your product, the NS2000, right? That's the name of the product.
The NS2000, based on the SPV, the Supermicro SPV, we've highlighted the features in Nexenta Store. We really feel like it's a perfect marriage between Supermicro, Nexenta, and Nordisk. We have the in-house expertise to actually provide the pre-sales consulting and also the post-sales support. We're offering, actually, we've put together one other piece of information that we'd like to show you is what we did is some of the early conversations that we had with the prospect we were working for on the East Coast wanted to know, okay, well, this all sounds good, but what could it do, right? So what we did is we put together a benchmark based on their environment. So we built a benchmark in our lab, and what they wanted to do is they wanted to implement it into a VMware environment. So what we did is said, okay, say this is your proposed configuration. 4 virtual machines running VMware with SQL Server running on top of Windows Server 2008 R2, and we ran some benchmarks. They also asked us and said, well, what should we do, iSCSI or NFS? So we went ahead and benchmarked it for them. We got over 31,000 IOPS on the machine local with only a 9-drive RAID Z2 array. It's pretty impressive. We also ran some benchmarks that included both iSCSI versus NFS, so they could make an informed decision on which one would be better for them to implement. It turns out that NFS had only a slight performance hit over iSCSI, but really the benefits that NFS gives you relative to VMware, they actually decided, yeah, we would like to deploy on NFS. I fully expect to close this deal next week or the week after. I'm working directly with the IT director for that particular organization. They're very excited about the SPV.
Great. And what type of plugins are you running right now?
We're running the HA Cluster plugin. We're also running VM Data Center. I can show you over here. What we've done is I have a virtual machine set up right here where I installed a VMware image, whereas underneath here I have an IBM IntelliStation running a couple of virtual machines. One of the virtual machines I have running is Windows Server 2008. And under here, one of the plugins that you were just asking about, when you install the VM Data Center, which we're really excited about, VM Data Center gives you a view of your VBAC stores and all of your image. So you can actually manage your VMware storage at the Nexena layer, where you don't have to actually manage it from the VMware environment. You can actually provision and clone and work with your storage within the Nexena GUI, which is another benefit. I'm doing everything here anyway. Why not manage my virtual server environment from within Nexena Store as well? So that's a really wonderful plugin that we're also very excited about.
Great. Well, this was Nordisk, our gold sponsor for the Open Storage Summit. We look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck.